So tuck turns. When I first started spinning poi, I knew them as shoulder reels to hip reels. Special thing about tuck turns is that it was the first time that it made me incorporate my full body. And when I snap, the poi are behind my back at a 6 o'clock. And when I snap on my hips, the poi are at a 12 o'clock behind my back. As the poi come over my shoulders, I'm rotating and then letting them come off. And while I'm rotating, there's a loop happening behind me. If I'm spinning in reverse, and I throw them over my shoulders, I'm going to turn to dodge my poi from hitting me. And I would do the same thing on the bottom with my hips. As they come up behind me, I turn, and so I'm committing my hips in a whole 180-degree turn pretty quickly. And that's the key, is the timing in that. I'm in between the channel, except for when it passes behind me. I stay in the channel, and then it passes behind me. It might be easier if you start off bringing your poi in at an angle instead of straight. Here, see my ducktail? So that my back of my hands are facing me. And as I bring my wrist to my hips, I'm flexing my fingers up, and my hips trace the loop in the back. And then I simply bring my hands back up again. So from this side, you would see the back of your hands, and then the palm of your hands would face up, and you would swoop your ducktail and come back out again. We're going over the bottom because it is much harder than the top. From an extension, when my wrists hit my shoulders, I must absorb that by bending my knees and pivoting and maybe leaning back a little bit. But I need to make a little circle here. And on the hips, same thing. I'm absorbing with my hips. My hands freeze at my hips. And so you're working with getting the momentum so that they can float into a little loop behind you. Just the right amount of effort as you cross the front to back plane is going to allow them to lift and continue rotating. Because you could push it too hard or not enough. This is when I discovered that there was two places for my wrist to go when going behind my back. That there's an upper quadrant and there's a lower quadrant. And that is achieved not just by lowering my wrist. You actually need to flip your hand to make a loop behind you. So if you're having trouble, try doing this. Take your opposites and you do one loop in the front, but you make two loops in the back. And if you're going up in the middle, my palms come up and then come down. One, up, down. One in front, two in back. One, one, two. Palm up, palm down. Back to the front. So you do the other direction also. This time you start in the bottom quadrant and go up to the upper quadrant. One, two, front, palm down, palm up, front, palm down, palm up, front. So this way, one side can teach the other side. Because if you're going to do tuck turns in both directions, both wrists have to be able to go in either direction. This direction, it would be up, down, wrists going up, down, and this is the upward, inward part of my opposite direction. Now if I'm going in the same direction with both poi, I have a downward direction in the middle here. So I would be going down, up, down, up. So that's the easiest way to show you why it's complicated. See if you can do this. If you're getting in a tuck turn, when my poi come down to 6, I'm going to turn a 180. Now see if you can turn at the hips. Notice when I turn at my hips, it's when the poi are at noon or 12. Turn the same direction, or keep turning, or turn the same direction or the opposite direction. If you were here in person, it would be a lot easier for me to give you feedback based on what I see. I really hope this inspires you to keep practicing through the tough times, through the frustrating moments, and that these are skills that are going to help you access that flow state, which we benefit from so much. So Drex, thank you for giving me this challenge. You've done a lot of hard work, exceptional work. Your skill is masterful, and thank you for giving me feedback and creating such great content for people to learn.